from imperial steel to high-tech armor. This is the complete catalog of the evolution of the Japanese tank. Let's start with the genesis, spanning 1918 to 1927. British Mark IV female. The arrival, the very first tank to ever touch Japanese soil. Imported from Britain in 1918, it shocked the Japanese military with its ability to crush obstacles. Medium Mark a Whippet, the runner. Acquired alongside the Mark IV, it was fast and agile, teaching Japan the value of speed, a lesson that would define their tank doctrine for decades. Renault FT Type 79, the first teacher, the first tank officially adopted by the Japanese Army. Engineers studied every bolt of this French tank to learn the secrets of the rotating turret. Next, the light and mediums of the early era, 1929 to 1939. Type 89 One-Go, the grandfather, Japan's first domestic medium tank. With a low-velocity 57mm gun and a unique diesel engine, it proved that Japan could build its own armor. Type 95 Heavy Rogo, the multi-turreted beast, an early experiment in land battleships, a massive, clumsy fortress with multiple turrets that proved to be a dead end in design. Type 92 Jusukosha, the cavalry car, a tiny tracked vehicle built purely for speed. Armed only with machine guns, it was designed to scout ahead of the cavalry across the plains. Type 94 TK, the supply hauler, a tiny tankette famous for the wrong reasons. Originally designed to tow trailers, it was pressed into combat despite armor thin enough to be penetrated by rifles. Type 97 TK, the Scout, the successor to the Type 94. It moved the engine to the rear and gave the commander a 37mm gun. Small, fast, and perfect for reconnaissance. Type 95 Hago, the Sprinter, the most produced Japanese tank of the war. Fast and light, it dominated in Malaya but became a death trap against American tanks later in the war. Type 4 Canoe, the Hybrid, a desperate improvisation. Engineers jammed a medium tank turret onto a light tank hull. It was top-heavy, but it packed a bigger punch than standard light tanks. Type 98 Kni, the improvement. Designed to replace the Hago, it was faster, lower, and used welded armor. A superior light tank, but Japan couldn't produce enough of them. Type 5 Keiho, the unfulfilled potential, the culmination of Japanese light tank design. It fixed all the problems of the previous tanks, but only one prototype was built. Now, the main battle line of World War II, 1937 to 1945. Type 97 Chiha, the icon, the face of the Imperial Japanese Army. With its rivets and radio antenna railing, it fought on every front, though its gun was weak against enemy tanks. Type 97 Kai Shinhodo Chiha, the upgrade. Shinhodo means new turret. The Japanese hurriedly upgraded the Chiha with a high-velocity 47mm anti-tank gun to give it a fighting chance. Type 97 Chiha short gun, the naval support. Built by the Japanese Navy, they stuffed a massive 120mm naval gun into the turret to shatter enemy tanks with sheer high-explosive force. Type 1 Chihe, the modernization. It took the firepower of the Shinhodo and placed it on a welded hull with better armor. Superior in every way, but it arrived too late. Type 2 Ho-1, the bodyguard. While other tanks fought armor, the Ho-I was built to destroy fortifications. Armed with a short-barrel 75mm mountain gun, it cleared the path for infantry. Type 98 Tase, the Sky Sweeper, an experimental anti-aircraft tank. Engineers mounted a 20mm autocannon in an open turret, but the platform proved too unstable for production. Next, the Specialists and Amphibious Armor, 1941 to 1945. SS Ki Bogata, the engineer. A strange-looking vehicle armed with flamethrowers and claws to cut through barbed wire, paved the way for the invasion force. Type 2 Kami, the swimmer. Based on the light tank, this marvel featured detachable pontoons. Could launch from submarines, swim to the beach, and fight as a normal tank. Type 3 Kachi, the submarine tank. A larger amphibious tank with a snorkel chimney, designed to sneak attack American fleets anchored near islands while fully submerged. Type 1 Honi 1. The Ambusher, a tank destroyer built on the Chiha chassis. It carried a powerful 75mm field gun in an open-top casemate. Type 3 Honi 3. The Hunter. Unlike the previous version, this featured a fully enclosed armored crew compartment, making it the most capable tank destroyer actually produced. Type 4 Horo. The Bunker Buster. Armed with an obsolete 150mm howitzer, it fired massive high-explosive shells used in desperate ambushes in the Philippines. Type 4 Hato. The Siege Breaker. A terrifying weapon carrying a massive 300mm heavy mortar designed to rain destruction on landing beaches from kilometers away. Moving to the late war monsters 1944 to 1945. Type 5 NATO. The Glass Cannon. A desperate attempt to stop Allied armor. It mounted a powerful Type 5 75mm gun on an open-top chassis. Survival relied entirely on shooting first. Type 3 Chinook. The Last Line. As the U.S. Navy closed in, Japan needed a tank killer. The Chinook mounted a powerful 75mm gun, held back for the defense of Tokyo. Type 4 Cheeto. The Japanese Panther. The only true medium tank Japan built that could match the Sherman. Larger, heavier, and armed with a long barrel cannon. Only 2 were completed. Type 5 Chiri. The Monster. The Ultimate Evolution. A massive medium tank designed with an autoloading system. A single prototype was captured, incomplete, by U.S. forces. Type 5 Hori. The Fortress. Japan's answer to the German Jagdtiger. With sloped heavy armor and a 105mm cannon, it existed only on blueprints, remaining a legend. A 1 Super Heavy. The Ghost. A 150-ton land battleship designed to be a mobile fortress. With 150mm of armor and multiple turrets, strictly kept secret. It remains the greatest mystery. Next, the Cold War Rebirth 1954 to 1989. CA-1. The Experiment. The first prototype of post-war Japan. Designed to be as short as possible to hide in the tall grass, resulting in a strangely flat profile. Type 61. The Resurrection. The first post-war domestic tank. Inspired by the American patent but smaller to fit Japanese railways, it marked the return of heavy industry. Type 60 SPRG. The Ambidextrous. A unique Cold War oddity. A tiny 2-man tankette armed with twin 106mm recoilless rifles, designed to fire 2 shots and run. Type 60 ATM. The Wire Guider. Before computers, Japan built this. A tracked APC armed with wire-guided missiles that the operator had to steer manually with a joystick. Type 73 APC. The Aluminum Box. Japan's amphibious workhorse during the Cold War, designed to ferry troops across Japan's many rivers. Type 75 SPH. The Rapid Fire. Japan's artillery piece of the Cold War. It featured an autoloader for its 155mm howitzer, allowing it to fire a burst of shells quickly. STB-1. The Legend. The prototype for the Type 74. It featured an automatic loader and a remote-controlled machine gun system, considered too expensive for the final version. Type 74. The Mountain Sniper. A technological marvel. It introduced hydropneumatic suspension, allowing the tank to kneel or lean to hide behind ridges. Type 87 SPAAG. The Gun Tank. Japan's self-propelled anti-aircraft gun. Built on the Type 74 chassis and mounting twin 35mm cannons, it can shred aircraft and ground targets alike. Finally, the modern era 1989 to present. Type 89 IFV. The Cavalry. Japan's infantry fighting vehicle. Fast and agile, it fights alongside main battle tanks, using its 35mm autocannon to engage light vehicles. Type 99 SPH. The Long Arm. A massive self-propelled howitzer with an extremely long 155mm barrel. It rains destruction from miles away using advanced data links. Type 90. The Box of Steel. Japan's heavyweight. Resembling the German Leopard 2, it features advanced composite armor and a 120mm smoothbore gun. Built to stop a Soviet invasion. Type 10. The Modern Samurai. The smartest tank in the world. Lighter than Western tanks but stronger due to nanocrystal steel. With a CVT transmission and modular armor, it is the peak of Japanese engineering.